While The Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises duked it out at the box office this summer for comic book movie supremacy, both films were a winner in that they introduced a fan favorite. Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye and Joseph Gordon-Levitt is John Blake, aka Robin. So while Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America all prepare to go yet another round, and Batman is set to be rebooted for a third time, some fans were left to wonder if we might be lucky enough to get Hawkeye and Nightwing movies. No. Why? Well, the answer is in black and white, by which I mean the harshest black and white of all, box office numbers. See, both actors had their own starring vehicles this August, and both crashed and burned. Let's start off with Jeremy Renner. He had a perfect setup, taking over the popular Jason Bourne franchise from Matt Damon. Yet while the pick was able to take first place when it debuted, it's pretty clear that Aaron Cross is a watered-down copy of his predecessor. Now, some of you might be quick to point out that the other Avengers don't have the best box office track records either. However, the ones with their own movies, they do. Since becoming Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. hasn't had a single movie except The Soloist, which he made before Iron Man, grossed less than $100 million. In fact, he's even launched another hit franchise, Sherlock Holmes. Likewise, Chris Hemsworth's only been in 6 movies total, 2 of them for Marvel, and the other where they're thinking of making him the focus of the sequel, even though he wasn't the star of the first. As for Dud's Cabin in the Woods and most likely the upcoming Red Dawn, those were in the can before he shot Thor, and just show how other studios are now eager to cash in on his brand. Now who else wants to get into the Chris Hemsworth business? Steven Spielberg. He wants him something bad for Robopocalypse, and Hemsworth is also co-starring in Ron Howard's upcoming race car movie. Yes, Marvel Studios doesn't need another Captain America, which has become their weakest sub-franchise thanks to Chris Evans' lack of star power. It used to be the Incredible Hulk, but Mark Ruffalo's star turn in The Avengers caused him to leapfrog out of the bottom. Why isn't Marvel Studios worried about Ruffalo at the box office? Well, first of all, a Hulk movie isn't exactly being rushed into production either. However, with Ruffalo, they can always chalk up his lackluster numbers to starring in mostly art house flicks. But wait a minute! Renner has 2 Oscar nominations, while Ruffalo only has just the 1. Well, sorry, Renner, but thanks to the Bourne legacy, you've now proven you can't carry an action movie after being anointed as Hawkeye. Ruffalo hasn't. And since Marvel Studios needs to keep their brand box office strong, that's why it's unlikely they'll risk making a Hawkeye movie or a Black Widow movie. What about the S.H.I.E.L.D. movie Samuel L. Jackson keeps talking about? Well, rumor is it's now going to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. S.H.I.E.L.D., always the bridesmaid. So, what about Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a Nightwing movie? As the credits on Christopher Nolan's Opus roll, fans have been crying out for this, including me. But then this weekend, Premium Rush hit theaters, or more accurately, a speed bump. Now sure, it's a weak concept to begin with and has been on the shelf for a long time. But for Premium Rush to open with under 7 million, not even breaking the top 5, is pretty bleak stuff. Any sensible studio executive would be hesitant to rest a billion-dollar franchise on the shoulders of such an actor. Even the vehemently anti-commercial Christian Bale, post The Dark Knight, has been able to boost small picks close to the important 100 million benchmark. Plus, he won an Oscar, and that always helps. But without a doubt, Bale is not the box office draw of his Marvel counterparts, which creates an interesting situation and hope for JGL. One could argue that the true star of the Nolan Batman trilogy is Nolan himself, and therefore if he even so much as blesses a Nightwing film with an executive producer credit, it will be in excellent shape. On top of that, Nolan has really painted Warner Brothers and DC Comics into a corner, leaving them with a cache of fans who are largely against a Batman reboot. That really only gives Warner Brothers and DC 2 choices. Wait 10 years to make another Batman movie, or make a Nightwing movie. We'll also have to see how Looper does, although the loophole there for Joseph Gordon-Levitt is if it flops, he doesn't look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the movie. So therefore, we're more likely to see a Nightwing movie before we see a Hawkeye movie, but I wouldn't get too excited about either one actually ever happening. Or, if you're the proactive type, you could start seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jeremy Renner movies. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.